everyone, and welcome to the Tulsa Tempo podcast. My name is Amy, and I'm your hostess. We are here at Blue Couch Studio, which is right across the street from the church studio on Studio Row in beautiful Tulsa, Oklahoma. Today, we have as our guest the lovely Kalyn Fay. She just finished doing her Tunes at Noon, where she pretty much wowed the crowd. I would say quieted the crowd.
I think
because it
really
was
quieted
so
the crowd.
beautiful.
Thank you.
And you didn't want to miss a note. It was you, my God. So thank you so much for being on the show today. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
So how was it playing over there?
It was great. Like you said, I quieted the crowd in many ways. I think the sun did as well. But
yeah, it's again, bipolar Tulsa, Oklahoma weather. We've talked about this multiple times on the show, and it was beautiful, and then it gets so hot, man.
It was very warm, and I loved watching the crowd move into the shade. So as time progressed, the shade changes, and they just followed it.
Yeah,
and
it was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
And you had Stephen Lee that accompanied you today, and he compliments you so well. He's a really good guitar player. He's a really nice guy. And this is the first time that I've seen him play with you. I've seen him play with others, multiple times. I'm a big Stephen Lee fan. I love him. I think he's so funny. But today, it just fit. It just worked really well. Is he your go-to guy for when you do shows like this?
I have, it's Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
We call it like a very incestuous sort of music
That's what
scene.
Andrew Bear says.
Yeah, it is, absolutely. So we all just sort of borrow each other and whenever someone has time. But I played with Stephen Lee for many years now, on and off, just whenever he has time, because he plays with amazing folks like John Fulbright and goes out on tour. And but yeah, I love playing with Stephen Lee. Yeah, he's so good and tasteful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he knows how to time, it always seems every time I see him play, that he times his solos so perfectly, and he builds them up, and that always just kind of glues me to that. Even I've seen him play like with Paul Benjamin, on the Sunday night thing, and even there, where they're cutting loose, man, and he still does that build, that just kind of grabs you. And I saw him do that today, but it was in a more subtle way that complimented you, and I thought that was just wow, man.
Yeah, he's just really good at what he does, and he's a good listener. He's great for any sort of songwriter or in a full band situation. He's just the best.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I'm really glad that he was there today too. So we're going to listen to some of your live stuff. We recorded some of your first 4 songs we recorded. So the first one that you did is "Baby Don't Go Away." Is that what it's called?
Baby, don't you worry.
No, baby, don't you worry. See, because I don't have my glasses on. Gosh. So anyway, we're going to listen to a little bit of that live, and then we're going to talk to Kalyn about how that song came to be. So,
baby, don't you worry. Oh, if you're on my mind, just as long as you promise, oh, you'll always be mine. If it's easy come, and it's easily tooth and nail, ain't always wrong. And if it's easy come, and it's easily gone, might as well be gone.
So tell me, what was the inspiration behind that song?
Baby, Don't You Worry was inspired by watching my parents grow together through the years. So they had me really young, and I got to watch them, fight it out and love each other, and they're still together to this day. So that's what the song is about, is, don't worry, we'll get through it.
That's really sweet.
Yeah.
That's so sweet, and to write such a beautiful song about a lifetime, of love. I like that. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I just, I watched them, work through so much stuff and basically grow up together. Mm-hmm. And that's, the gist of the song is, if it's easy come, then it's easy go. Things that are worth it are worth working for. So
I love that. That's beautiful. And that's so true. Yeah. Very true. So, and the second song that you did is called Wind Song, and we're going to listen to a little bit of that live. That was a beautiful song, especially the chorus. I loved it. I think you guys are really going to enjoy this one.
Windows open 'cause it's getting warmer. Can't afford to turn the AC on. Doesn't matter much, wouldn't change nothing. I prefer the sound of an old wind song.
So on Wind Song, I'm going to put my glasses on for this because, okay, so you talked briefly about, this is on your album that you haven't released yet, and it was about when you were living in Arkansas and missing Oklahoma. So tell me about that.
So Wind Song, there's a sound in it that I make, and it's the sound that we use. You know, my family, other folks use this sound too, but when we're at the creek, we're calling for each other. We make this sound just to see if anyone's there, any family members there. We also make this sound at like powwows when we're yelling for our friends. But I love the way it like kind of moves, and I wanted to use it for a song quietly because when we do it for these other situations, it's very loud.
Yes.
But the gist of the song is that I'm kind of observing these moments when I was living in Arkansas and really missing Oklahoma. Here in Oklahoma, you know, we've got 39 affiliated tribes. There's at least a semblance of understanding of Native folks here. You're going to run into a Native person no matter where you go in Oklahoma for the most part. So I feel really, you know, safe here and understood in many ways. But in Arkansas, even though it's so close, there's no federally recognized tribes there. And I was doing my master's degree at University of Arkansas, and it sits right on the Trail of Tears. And nobody knew what that was or what that meant. And so it was really like a difficult time for me because it was so much trying to validate my own experience as a Native person or share that, you know, we contemporarily exist as people. So I was in Arkansas observing all these different moments and just missing Oklahoma. So the Wind Song is, I'm using that sound. It goes up at the end to sort of mimic, you know, the wind sound on the prairies and plains here, but also to call back home.
Oh, yeah. How long did you live down there?
I lived there for almost 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. How many trips did you make back home to Oklahoma?
I was at home almost every weekend. Yeah, I spent a lot of time here.
That sounds like it was tough.
Yeah.
But you did it.
I did.
You know,
I got a degree out of it. I got to play in some cool creeks. The Ozarks are beautiful.
Yes.
I had no problem with the landscape of Arkansas.
Right, yeah. Arkansas is beautiful.
Yeah,
For real.
it's gorgeous.
Yeah. So, well, thank you. The next song that you did is called Come Around, and we're going to listen to a little bit of that live.
I'll come around, 'cause I can't get high for getting down. I'll come around, find my feet on steady ground. I'll come around, I'll come around.
I like when you said that your songs are bummer bangers. You know, I'm like, because it's so true. Because you said they're sad songs, but you can't help but feel like a little, to me, you know, a little bit of joy when you hear them, just because they're so good.
Oh,
and
thank you.
You can see, you know, I always can picture like with headphones on listening to it, you know, and just catching like every little nuance of the song. And your lyric writing is just top drawer. You know, I mean,
thank you
it's
so
just, it
much.
is really good.
Thank you.
So on come around. Okay. You said, you know, that things come back around.
Yeah.
And I chuckled a little because you said it. So I really hope they do. I'm crossing my fingers and my toes. So tell me a little bit about that song and how that came to be.
Yeah, I wrote that song. It was on my last record called Good Company. I wrote that whenever I was struggling after sort of like a breakup and also feeling a little out of sorts. So like saying I feel untethered to reality
Yeah.
at times. And so that's where that came from. Just recognizing even when things are kind of tough and you're moving through some transitional moments in your life that, things always come around as they are supposed to, and just accepting that.
Yeah, peaks and valleys. That's what it is for real.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's never going to go away.
Yeah, exactly.
It's always something.
Yeah, it is
You're up,
always
down, up,
something.
down, But I feel like. Do you feel? In Tulsa, just the music community, so when you do have these peaks and valleys that we all go through, Tulsa really embraces that. Do you feel that way too? Because I haven't been here that long. I've only been here a couple of years, but my God, I see it all the time. It's kind of like they say, just let us love you.
Yeah.
And then when something happens to somebody else, that's not too great, everybody's on it.
Absolutely.
And have you noticed it? Do you feel that as well?
Yeah, I love Tulsa music community. It's one of the most supportive communities ever. I know in other spaces that's maybe not the case. There's a lot of competition in some way, but we all see each other as sort of a support network.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like I'm definitely supported through the really highs and the really lows. And I'm just so thankful to be a part of it and back in
Same.
Tulsa again. But yeah, it's just a beautiful community to just
Be a part of.
Yeah.
Just let us love you. It's just, it's
Exactly.
so awesome. And your stage gets pretty full sometimes because I've seen you play a couple of times and then the buzz starts going. I remember, I think I was over at Mercury or maybe I was at Colony and somebody said you were over at Mercury. And all of a sudden it was like, flies to honey. Everybody's kind of going, where are you going, Mercury? Kalyn's over there, Mercury. And next thing you know, we all like flew over there to see. And then half the people that we were hanging out with were on the stage with you. So your stage gets really full.
It does get really full. It's funny though, because I love it.
Yeah.
Because I can play with so many different people. I play by myself. I'll play as a duo or trio, and then I can play with a very full band. I did a residency at Mercury, and I feel like each week I got more people on stage, which was so funny. The first week it was just like three of us, and then Hank Early, who he plays pedal steel and banjo for
Turnpike
Turnpike, came and he said, "Hey, can I join you next week?" And I said, "Sure." And so he hopped on stage for the rest of the month, and then Jesse Acock was like, "Hey, can I join you for your last one?" And I was like, "Yeah, hop on stage."
Absolutely.
And it just kept going. By the end, by our last set for the residency, I think we had like 7 people on stage.
Yeah, I mean it seems to me that you always have a feather in your cap. That's how I see it. Because it's like even when I remember somebody else was playing at the Mercury and you came to hang out, and then hand to God, like 5 minutes later, they're calling you up there to play, and all of us that were, again, because we got there smoking cigarettes, stayed outside, we all come in, because we're not going to miss Kalyn, because we don't see her a lot, so, and you just get up there and you just do it, and it's such a cool thing to see because you're so comfortable up there, even though you're kind of talking about like difficult, not difficult, but touchy subjects, I guess, your songwriting, the bummer bangers, and, so, but it looks, you're comfortable, you can tell that you're comfortable in your own skin. And that is a really, really cool thing to see.
Oh, thank you.
Really love that.
Thanks.
Especially for, girl singers, because we got to stay together like that.
That's right. Yeah.
So the last song that you did was called Way Out. And that was about when you were living in Massachusetts. So we're going to listen to a little bit of this song. I think you're going to like it a lot. And then we're going to talk about, her time in Massachusetts. I can't even say it, out east. And
Exactly.
and how that song came to be.
It's a mystery to me. I don't know what I want. Tell me what you need, or is this too far gone? It's a mystery to me. I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want.
That was when you were living out east in Massachusetts. So, and you told a funny story that you learned to line dance.
I did.
And that was probably the lowest point of your life. Thus far.
Yeah. So this song. Oh my God. I wrote this song when I was living in Salem, Massachusetts, and I was doing a Native American fellowship at a museum out there, and I was building some like sound work for some of the galleries. And I didn't know anybody there. It, so far away from home, and I was just so bored in this like space by myself. So I read a lot of Korean poetry, like really poorly translated Korean poetry from like the 1920s. And then I taught myself how to do this line dance to Old Town Road, and it by myself. And it was, like I said, one of the lowest points.
That's so funny.
It was,
So what did you think of Salem as a town?
It's crazy. It's
funky, isn't it?
It is funky.
Yeah.
I happened to be there when they were filming. It was an Adam Sandler movie for Netflix, like a Halloween,
Oh, God.
like Herbie Halloween. I don't know what it was called, but it was so weird. I had like an out of body experience in that place. It feels like I blacked out for a summer and like came to back here.
Yeah, so we just slept right through this part.
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
And not only is Kalyn a very, very talented artist, musician, she also has a, what would you call it, an exhibition at the Philbrook?
Yeah.
So tell us about that, because that's really exciting.
Yeah, so I am a curator. My official title is the Assistant Curator of Native Art at Philbrook Museum of Art.
How cool is that, y'all?
That's what I got my degrees in, quietly in the background.
That is so cool.
Yeah, so I just led, it's a traveling exhibition from Dallas, from the Anne and Gabriel Barber Muller Museum, and it's called Samurai. So I got to learn so much about samurai and lead this exhibition, which I'm really excited about. It'll be open until August 3rd.
Oh, wow. So it's got a pretty long run.
It
huh?
does have
That's
a very
awesome.
long run.
Yeah. Oh, how cool. So how often do you go there? Do you go there and promote it, or do you have time there? I don't know how any of that works.
Yeah, I actually work there. That's my day job.
Okay.
I tell everyone I have like a secret day job that nobody else knows
That you
about.
love. Yeah.
Yeah.
In addition to music. So is that why we never
Exactly.
see you out a lot?
Yeah, that's because
we work day gigs.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So well, tell us, I know you mentioned that you have an album that you still haven't released yet.
I do.
So tell, do you have an ETA on that, or?
It's sometime this spring.
Okay.
Early summer. We're going to try and release it. It's mostly on me that I haven't. But it's called Awisana, means garden. So the whole record sort of points back to my native family, and one of the first places I ever I felt like I recognized my indigeneity or my nativeness was in my grandpa's garden, my Duda's garden, and it was in the back of my family's home in Tahlequah. And I remember sitting back there and like playing in it, and them telling me about all the plants he used to grow before he passed. And it's just one of those places I point to like locate myself and locate my culture. And yeah, so
Cool. Yeah. Oh, I can't wait. I'm excited.
thanks. I'm excited to release it. I'm ready to get it out.
Now, are
in the
you going to go on the road with this, or
world.
do you have a plan like that?
I probably will. I'm going on a few different tours this year, just like short ones with
Talk
people.
about just who are you going with?
So I'll go in April with Nick Shoulders. He's doing a solo tour and asked me to join on
Nice.
that one. And then this summer I'll do a few dates with Samantha Crane.
All right. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
How fun. Yeah. So it sounds like you are going to be busy. I'm glad that we were able to catch you.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Yeah. So we'll plug your socials for us. Where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I have not done anything on TikTok. I just exist
You've
there,
been there.
as a voyeur, you know. But I just go as Kalyn Fay, so KalynFay. And you can find me just through that.
Okay. Awesome. So, and we'll have the links to all that in the information box. My Brandon does that, so I'm not, that's not my thing. I just look and I'm like, okay. So, well, thank you so much for coming on the show and for spending some time with us. We really, really appreciate you. And you were just so good today. And it's a good way, you were a good way to start my day. Cause like you, I have to go to a day gig after this.
Yeah.
And so my heart is full. So thank you so much, for coming on the show. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really appreciate being here.
Thank you.